comes to talk. We have got a lot to cover, and where to begin? Of course, Candace Owens has just lost her freaking mind, so we're going to talk about that. There's a few big moments with Kash Patel earlier today that we've got to cover, and the amount of things that have been going on, like every 5 minutes, is insane. I mean, news is breaking faster than you can keep up with. But, you know, hey, listen. All I know is that what the Democrats did with Charlie Kirk last week has completely backfired. Now, I'm getting ready to start my... okay, hold on. All right, I'm getting ready to start my live mainstream, okay? So on the other stream, which I have the link, the direct link is in the description of this video. On that stream, you can see and hear all of the audio and video that I'm going to go over. So I'm going to start that stream in just a minute. And if you go over there, you'll be able to see and hear the video. The direct link is in the description of the episode. And this is... If you're new to the program, make sure that you subscribe, guys, all right? Make sure you subscribe. We've got so much to cover. I'm just setting up everything still. And this is... If you're new to the program... Okay, just a sound check. All right, here we go. I'm going to start the mainstream. Now, again... if you go to the mainstream, you're going to be able to see and hear all the audio and video that I'm going to go over. All right. With this stream, you'll see and hear me and the callers. But to see and hear the audio and the video that I go over, you're going to have to jump over to the other stream. And that stream is linked directly in the description of the video. Okay. All right. Let's go. It's showtime. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and, well, boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Candace Owens has lost her freaking mind, and we're going to go through all of that on the program today and take your calls. If you'd like to call in, if you're watching live on YouTube, you can do that. The number is pinned in the live chat. But before I do that, I want to start with something else. Adam Schiff, who's one of the scummiest people ever to serve in the Congress, he's certainly the scummiest person in the Congress today out of both houses. He's in the Senate. There was a Senate hearing with Kash Patel. I am going to cover more of the Senate hearing with Kash Patel later, but I wanted to just share this with you in the beginning before we get into Candace Owens. So Adam Schiff, it's his turn to talk to Kash, and Kash, well, he lets him know what he thinks. I love it. Yes. I love it. Yep. Oh boy, Cash Patel, he went off today. That was great. Welcome everyone. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Cash Patel, it's about time one of these witnesses in these congressional hearings didn't fall for this reclaiming my time nonsense and told off, in this case, a United States senator for all their crap and lies and slanders and everything that they throw out there from their to get their sound bites. That was great. Cash Patel did a good job today. And by the way, President Trump was very clear today in his support of Cash Patel. All right, so I want to get to the main topic here, and that is Candace Owens, who's a complete insane lunatic. And she got a couple things with Candace Owens, okay? This one here, this first one I'm going to play for you. We'll take some calls. We'll talk about it. Candace Owens... well, let me just play it, and then we'll talk about it. How about that? Let me play this. This is Candace Owens with a threat to Turning Point USA. No. Mm. Mm. Okay, so the question, boy, oh boy, this is just the beginning of Candace Owens, who's just totally lost it. Now, question here, who is she talking not just about, but actually to? And I think I know, and I'm going to tell you in just a moment. I had said over the weekend that there were two very well-known, famous conservative influencers who were on television with a bunch of crocodile tears and doing a lot of interviews online talking about, all kinds of things. And what they were both doing in their mind was angling to take over Turning Point USA. And I did not tell you their names until one of them outed himself. And then I said, this is one of the people I was talking about. The second one has backed off a little bit. And so I haven't mentioned their name yet. But of course, I'm talking about Ben Shapiro. And I think Candace Owens is talking about and to Ben Shapiro. And was it Friday or Saturday? It's been a rough week, right? So the days are blending together. But it was Friday or Saturday. Ben Shapiro said that he's going to pick up the blood-stained mic and continue the college tour, right? So he outed himself there. So Ben Shapiro thinks he's going to take over Turning Point. I got news for you. J.D. Vance and the president have spoken. It ain't going to be you, okay? And she's talking to Ben Shapiro directly. And she's also threatening Turning Point USA. And what's going on here with Candace Owens with the death of Charlie Kirk, and then we'll get to the other thing that about her. And if you're on hold, hang in there. I'll get to the call shortly. And if you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. Those of you watching on the live stream with the green behind me, if you go to my other stream, the main stream, where the main chat and the main live stream is, you can see and hear all the video and audio sound bites that I'm playing. And that link is in the description of the video if you've got the green behind me in your video. Candace Owens is really in many ways having a mental breakdown, an emotional breakdown, and I'll tell you why. There are these massive vigils and memorials going on in regards to Charlie Kirk. Saturday is the private funeral, and then Sunday is the big memorial at the stadium in Arizona where President Trump is going to be there presenting, I'm assuming through Charlie Kirk's widow, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And what is it, a 70,000 seat arena? And Candace Owens has become a very open, not just an anti-Israel person, but an anti-Semite who has even denied the Holocaust. And once you get into Holocaust denial, people don't want anything to do with you. And my guess is that she's not getting invited to these big private things or to speak on the big stage on Sunday. Now, whether or not she'll be there in Arizona, we don't know. But I can't see President Trump being on stage or putting himself in a position to be on stage with someone who's as anti-Semitic as Candace Owens and has even been involved in denying the Holocaust on their program. I just can't imagine he'd be on stage with that person. So when Turning Point USA first became a nationally known organization, she was right there with Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk really made her famous. She got famous through that Turning Point job. She was what was her job? She was the press spokesperson. She was kind of like, she was the Caroline Leavitt of Turning Point USA. And then she went out on her own and became even more famous. And then she went to the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro, and that was the beginning of the current break from reality version of Candace Owens. And she said this thing in this clip. I never heard. She's a Turning Point USA Mason. I'm not exactly sure what she means by that. I can assume that she means that she's a founder. Does she consider herself a founding? I don't know exactly what a Turning Point USA Mason is. I've not heard that before. She said she is that. But she's not getting invited to these things. She's not up there on the big stage because no one wants anything to do with an anti-Semitic Holocaust denier. And she's having a freak out over that. She's seen Ben Shapiro, who she hates like the plague. She sees him trying to wiggle his way in. And if you notice, Ben Shapiro's been doing the entire interview circuit. He's been on everyone's show. He's been all over television. I'm not a fan of Ben Shapiro. I find him annoying. I don't enjoy listening to his program. He talks as fast as an auctioneer, and he's just kind of a nerdy guy. But he doesn't know that, okay? And she is correct in saying that even though she didn't say it by name, Ben Shapiro definitely, since he's not self-aware of how disliked he is, and how dorky he is, he does think he could take over for Charlie Kirk. He can't do that. They're not going to let that happen. But Candace Owens is having a freak out at just the idea that it might happen. Another thing, too, I would imagine, if Candace Owens had not gone nuts when she left the Daily Wire and was free of the Daily Wire, if she had not gone nuts and became this professional anti-Semite attacking Israel all the time, and these other weird things she's gotten into with the French and all that stuff, and she was just doing her normal thing when she left the Daily Wire, they may have invited her back to Turning Point USA at an elevated position, not to run it, not to be the star, but if she had not just totally destroyed herself with the anti-Israeli, anti-Semitism, Holocaust denial, they may have used her. Yesterday, when Vice President J.D. Vance filled in for Charlie Kirk on his show, he, at the next to the last segment, he was talking about the future of Turning Point and what they're going to do with it. So the Trump campaign is basically taking over Turning Point USA, and he said there's not a single person that could take over for what Charlie Kirk was doing, but there will be people that have different skill sets who will take over different areas of what Charlie Kirk was doing. And for the person to do the campus debate, that would have been Candace Owens. Candace Owens would have been the one who was the lead if she had not destroyed herself with all this anti-Semitism and stuff, if she just left the Daily Wire and did her normal show and had not disgraced herself, Candace Owens would be the front person doing the Q&A at the colleges in the future for Turning Point USA. And she probably knows that at this point, that, now she tells herself, because I'm speaking the truth. They don't want me around, I'm speaking the truth. That's not it. They don't want an anti-Semite, Holocaust denier connected to them. But she would have been spectacular at that. And she would have become even more famous than she has ever been for good things if she had not screwed up her career and reputation. And at some level, she's aware that she's out, and she would have been a superstar. And not only that, I would learned the other day from President Trump. President Trump said over the weekend that Turning Point USA right now has a $200 million a year operating budget. And that's going to grow tremendously. Turning Point USA, I believe, will expand to include adult chapters. And it looks to me that, listening to J.D. Vance yesterday, filling in for Charlie Kirk on his show, it looks to me that in many, many ways, the Trump administration, the Trump campaign team, are taking over Turning Point USA. Now, Charlie Kirk's wife is still going to be a big part of it, and of course, and all that, but the professional Trump people are going to be taking it over. And it seems to me that Turning Point USA is in some ways going to be the new version of the RNC. I very much see that happening. And she knows that if she wouldn't have gone down this road, she would be the front person. And she would, no doubt in my mind, she would be the front person. And not only be the front person, she would be the one on TV constantly and going viral on all the social media platforms. And now they're not calling her, they're not inviting her, and she's not a part of it because of her anti-Semitism and everything. And I wish she wouldn't have gone that route. I don't know what happened to her, but no doubt in my mind she's talking to Ben Shapiro. Now, if you're just joining in and you missed the beginning of the stream, I'll play this again. It's a short clip. This is Candace Owens. I believe she's talking to Ben Shapiro here. Wow. 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 Okay, now if you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, to hear and see the audio, jump over to my main stream. The direct link is in the description. It's right here on my YouTube channel, and you can see and hear all the audio I'm playing. I got to tell you, I do not like people that keep text messages, all right? And any of you out there who know me personally, if you get if you ever text message me, my responses are pretty short, aren't they? 1 word, 2 words. I don't like, and because people keep these things, and then they share them with people. Not that I would text something that's but I just don't like the idea of people keeping text. I don't do that. I delete text. The only time I keep a text message in my phone is if somebody has texted me something I want to remember, so I'll keep it there. But I just yesterday, I went through my text. I deleted so many old texts. I do not like people keeping text. I don't like people showing text. I don't like people threatening to show text. I don't like the screenshots of text messages. I always consider that a violation. Do you guys consider that a violation? Now, I've got more I want to share on Candace and a lot of other things, But you're welcome to call in. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you're watching live, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. What's your name? Yeah, oh, that was, that guy's been on hold for 18 minutes. You would think if he was on hold for 18 minutes that he would think of something a little more clever to try to prank me with. Now, before I get back to Candace, I want to get this off because I'll forget. Pam Bondi's getting a lot of beef, and people are calling for her to resign and be fired over some comments that she made. Okay, so a lot of people are freaking out over this, and I understand why, but let me add some context to this, okay? A lot of people say, oh, she's talking like a Democrat, we're not into hate speech, that's a liberal thing, we support the First Amendment. Yeah, that's true. However, you've got to understand something. These never-Trumpers, Democrats, and deep state actors that have assassinated Charlie Kirk, what they did is they murdered a close personal friend of the President of the United States and pretty much the entire cabinet, including Pam Bondi. So, I think people should lay off Pam Bondi instead of doing clickbait, and talking about, well, she should be fired because she said this. One of her close personal friends was just brutally murdered on probably one of the most watched videos in the history of the internet live. And, you murder the best friend of someone, they're going to be upset. And I'm not going to hold Pam Bondi accountable and say she's got to resign because one of her close friends was just brutally murdered in front of the world and she said some things. Give her a break. Can you imagine? What they're going through. I didn't realize how involved Charlie Kirk was with the everyday of the Trump administration in this second term until I heard JD talking about it yesterday. So this is someone that they're close personal friends with, they've socialized with the family, and they've been working closely with for a long time. And to be brutally murdered and thinking to yourself, wow, how many times have I been on stage with him or been out with him? This could have been me. Of course they're going to be upset and say things. So give Pam Bondi a break on this. People are overreacting. By the way, I'm wearing this shirt. Just came in the mail. I just got this right before the stream. This came right from my mailbox, and I opened it up and put it on. My wife got me this shirt. She ordered me a few Charlie Kirk shirts, and this one's already come in. It's a great picture of Charlie Kirk, and it says "Legends Never Die" on it. Legends never die. And it's a pretty cool shirt. And I got some other ones coming too, some other Charlie Kirk t-shirts. All right, I'm going to go back to the phones. Hopefully we'll raise the bar a little bit. If you'd like to call in and share your thoughts, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Doug, and I'm from New York.
Hey, Doug in New York. What's on your mind?
My God, man, some of the stuff people are saying is disgusting. No matter what way you lean, left, right, does not matter. It's just a matter of, right and wrong. Murder in itself is wrong. And no matter if you like the guy or not like the guy, you have the right to walk away. That was your right. You know what I mean? And just the people saying what they're saying about Charlie and about his family is absolutely disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
It really...
No doubt.
I don't understand where their mindset is. I don't care if you're left-leaning. You're right. As an American, if you did this in any other country, they wouldn't put up with it. You know what I mean? And it's your right here to say whatever you want, as long as it doesn't incite violence. And
Well,
being
see,
pro-murder is
that's the
something
problem. See, these people that are literally dancing on Charlie Kirk's grave with TikTok videos and stuff, right?
I was watching it
They're
on the
see,
sorry, go ahead.
they instigated this event. The left, when you're calling the president and MAGA people and the leaders in MAGA Nazis and Hitler all the time, this is what happens. So you have freedom of speech, but you don't have the freedom to instigate somebody to commit violence against another, and that's what they've done.
They sure have. I mean, like, and one of the things that was most disgusting is at the guy's memorial, I'm watching all these troll baiters sitting there saying the most disgusting thing possible, and like, they're all there doing this guy's funeral, and they're not moderating. Obviously, they're just keeping it up for the people that like respect it and wanted to be part of it that couldn't be there. But like the people that were like, you don't have to sit there and watch it, but you're gonna sit there and you're gonna instigate on that. Like that was disgusting.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I see some of these liberals in my chat. Some of them have called me. I mean, they're twisted. Liberals believe that if you have an opinion different than theirs, you should be dead. That's how they believe. That's what they think. It's obvious. They're letting us know that. They're saying it.
Well, that just proves the one biggest problem in this country is mental illness, and they should have never closed down half the insane asylums across the country.
That's correct. Yeah. Listen, thanks for the call. Are you new to the show?
I am. I came across you going through some live streams, and each one I was going through was just disgusting. So I finally came across yours, and
well, awesome.
It's got a number.
All right. Well, make sure you subscribe and call me again sometime.
We'll do it. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Yeah, those of you that are new, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, John from Arizona.
Hey, John.
Yeah, so I called in yesterday asking if you knew anything about the comments Kirk made about Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Oh, yeah, I played that on the morning stream, but I played it, yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to...
and you were totally off base.
If I could... Yeah, well, some would disagree.
Well, I'm going to... Before you comment on it... Hold on a second. Before you comment on it, I want to play it for the audience so they can hear...
Yeah, I have it right here.
I'm going to play... I'm going to play it because I want people to hear it online. I wasn't ready to play it, so I don't have it queued up, but I'm going to... It'll sound better if I play it over the feed for people, but I'll find it in a minute. But you were very much off on what you said about it. Let me find it. I played it a couple times on the stream this morning.
I've watched it multiple times. There's no context that can be put in that would be justifying of his claim.
What was his claim? What did you take his claim to be?
Well, first, he made the claim that the person that broke into their house, and maybe he didn't even break in, he might have just been there, was a gay hemp jewelry maker.
Okay, I have it. I don't know about that. Okay, I got the clip. I'm not going to play the whole show, okay? So I'm going to play a clip. It's only about 20 seconds. You're not going to be able to hear it while you're on the phone with me. But the people that are watching...
I've heard the clip multiple times.
Okay, the people that are listening online can hear it. And I'm going to put the context into what's going on here. This is Charlie Kirk. This idiot I'm talking to now on the phone, he called in yesterday to trash a man who was assassinated, who's in a box right now in a mortuary waiting for his funeral, and his young widow and his young children are now without a father and a husband. I'm going to do what I want. It's when you get your own show, you can do what you want on your show. And he was talking about yesterday a very negative way about this MAGA martyr, Christian martyr, American martyr, Charlie Kirk, and was taking issue with some things he said about Paul Pelosi with this guy that attacked him at his house. Okay, so the reason that he wanted to bail him out was because, all right, hold on a second. Did I lose you? Okay, hold on. I might have lost him. Okay, there, you're back on. The reason that Charlie Kirk was talking about bailing the guy out from the Paul Pelosi attack and asking him some questions was not to defend him. This is what had happened, okay? Paul Pelosi, not long before this incident, had gotten into a car accident. Nancy Pelosi, during both of these incidents, was out of town in Washington. Paul Pelosi went to a late-night party at one of those in wine country, and he had his convertible Porsche, and he left and got into a car accident. And people were wondering, who was he with? It was reported he was with someone. They never were identified, gender, anything. There was no police body cam footage. There was no police dashboard footage. And then a short time later, he answers his door in his silk underwear and had this guy attack him in San Francisco. And people were wondering, why does Paul Pelosi get in these bizarre adventures when his wife's out of town? I'd like to talk to this guy. So everybody in the country was talking about this, and then Charlie Kirk had made this comment about bailing him out so we could question him. That's all. And you're making a mountain out of a molehill here because you're sick.
So the reality is, he made a claim that the man, before you aired the clip, the 10 seconds before, made the claim that the man was a gay hemp jewelry maker. Number one, that's not true. He was a conservative who admitted under oath. Listen.
I got some things I want to talk. I'm not going to let you hijack the show into this thing yesterday, but I'm just telling you, I pulled up the clip you want. Now there's another clip you want. What kind of person? I want to know what kind of, excuse me. I know, and if I get that, there'll be another one. What kind of person are you that you've spent about a day obsessing, bad-mouthing a man whose life was taken because of his political viewpoints? What's wrong with you?
Are you going to let me explain why I have fault on his character, or are you just going to keep interrupting?
Yeah, I want to know why you're a man. I want to know why. I'm not interested in this Paul Pelosi stuff, okay? I want to know why you are so obsessed with saying terrible things about someone whose life was taken from them at a young age because of their political viewpoints.
Because Charlie Kirk was saying terrible things about someone whose life was almost taken. And I can explain that to you right now, but you keep interrupting.
Yeah.
So he first made the claim that the man was gay and that he was a hemp jewelry maker. That's not true. He was a QAnon conservative that claimed he was radicalized.
Excuse me, bullshit. Okay, there's not a bunch of MAGA people. Excuse me, no, there are not. He said it when they made a deal with him. There's not a bunch of MAGA people homeless in the drug hippie community of San Francisco. Okay, enough of this crap. And I'm not going to let you hijack the show to talk this way about someone whose life they were assassinated less than a week ago, you know? And you're talking this way about them. Shame on you. I've given you too much airtime as it is. All right, that's that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? In fact, he called about it yesterday on yesterday's program. I pulled up the audio and shared it 2 or 3 times on my live stream this morning, and then we just did it again. What am I going to do? Hand the show over to this person to badmouth Charlie Kirk? It ain't happening. Get your own show, and you can do that all day. All right, go ahead. Let me answer all these lines first. The phones are ringing off the hook. You're back. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Ultrafire. I'm calling from Nevada.
Hey, Nevada.
So I got a question. I got a couple questions, actually. Do you think the U.S. is at risk of losing its global reserve currency?
No.
Okay. Because back in June, Trump was really pushing Chairman Powell to cut rates, in order to refinance the $9 trillion in debt. And now the government's talking about reevaluating all $37 trillion in debt with 261 million ounces of gold and 21 million bitcoins in order to erase our massive debt. What do you think about that?
I don't know. All this math give me a headache. I'm not really interested, but I'll comment on it. I have no worries about the United States economy or anything else about the United States because President Trump is in charge. And so far as gold hit its record high again yesterday, $3,700. I don't know what it's been today, but gold's at its record high. So there's a lot of value with gold. And Donald Trump has a great plan to pay down the national debt with the tariffs. I mean, how can you worry about the economy when we have a leading economist as president of the United States in charge of the economy?
Well, because it doesn't make sense.
Maybe not to you.
Take this for example. Just hear me out. Take this for example now. If you're a person that's going bankrupt, are you going to just continue spending money, or are you going to cut back? If you know your debt's going to be cleared.
Well, the government has done massive cutbacks, and for the first time, President Trump has set up things where the federal government is making money through the tariffs, buying in, getting ownership in some other companies and everything. President Trump's redoing the economy in ways it's never been done before, and the government is making billions of dollars regularly just on the tariffs, so they know exactly what they're doing. I appreciate the call. Ugh, math. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is David. I'm calling from Massachusetts.
Hey, David. What's on your mind?
Well, first off, I just want to say I'm sorry for the people you've had to deal with recently.
No, that's fine. It's the way it is. What's happened is the lunatic lefties, they took a couple days off because to look like they were decent people, and that now they've lost control, and
yeah, well,
they're out now.
Clinically insane people on either side.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'd say I lean more towards the left, but honestly, anyone who would, days after someone dies, start bad-mouthing him, I don't want to share anything with them, political side or other.
Exactly. It's in such bad taste. Really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't care.
They haven't even buried him yet.
Yeah. I don't care if you're on the opposite side of the political spectrum as me. If you just died, I will let your family have peace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do have one question for you, though.
Okay. Mm.
What do you think about the current political standing of the United States?
That's a vague question, so I don't. You got to be more specific.
To specify, what do you think about how the rest of the world sees the United States?
Oh, I don't give a shit. Nobody. Are you an American in the United States? You're an American?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised you don't know this. And a lot of times I'll get calls or see people in my live chat. They're from other countries, and like, oh, we're laughing at you in Europe. We're laughing at you in Australia. This is what I always tell them. Americans don't give a shit what people in other countries think about us or our government or our country. The rest of the countries around the world are insignificant third-rate countries, and our way is always the best way, and we're the best country. And I don't care what people in other countries think, and neither do most Americans. The only Americans that typically, you're an anomaly. The only Americans who typically care about what they think about us in other countries are liberals. No, people in America, we don't care. We don't care what any other country thinks about us.
I personally disagree, because I feel like if we are allies, trade or otherwise, if we are allies with another country, we should care what they think of us.
No,
how you would care about what a friend thought of you.
No, they're not our friends. These countries. Who are these friends of ours? What countries are our friends that you're referencing?
Places that we trade with.
Give me an example. Canada.
Australia.
Canada's been screwing us over since the American Revolution. They sided with the Redcoats in the American Revolution. They've been screwing us over ever since. Lately, they've been ripping us off with the tariffs, and they don't even pay their dues, or they're part of the North American defense shield that we have here. We cover for them. They've been screwing us over for over 200 years, Canada.
Okay, I don't know about that, so I'll give you that one. But what about everywhere else? Places like Australia.
I don't know about Australia. I hear from a lot. I got a lot of Australians that watch me on YouTube. They call in sometimes. They love Trump in our country. Now, if you're watching some liberal jerk in Australia. They may trash Trump in America, but I have a lot of Australians that watch me on YouTube, and they love Donald Trump. You're speechless?
Oh, I have a mild form of autism. It makes me more difficult in social situations. I'm just trying to formulate my thoughts.
Oh, well, okay. Sorry. That's okay.
So the reason why I bring it up is because of the tariffs Trump has imposed. It has hurt a lot of our relationships with other countries.
Please, screw them. They've been ripping us off with the tariffs forever. They've had these high tariffs against us. Our tariffs have been low. They've been screwing us. And now we have reciprocal tariffs. Our tariff on them is whatever they have on us. Sorry.
And where did you get this information?
The President of the United States, Donald John Trump. You may have heard of him. He's the 45th and 47th president.
Have you looked into this in any other way?
I don't need to look into it. I've got the good word of President Trump.
I personally believe that if you hear information, you should double check it in any way possible.
You never have to double check on what President Trump says. You can always take his word to the bank.
What about when he said to drink bleach to get rid of COVID?
He did not say drink bleach to get rid of COVID. That's one of those things like they say that Sarah Palin said she could see Russia from her house. No, that's not what he said. There was a medical procedure he was referencing. He didn't tell people to drink like Clorox bleach. No, that's a liberal urban legend. Well, I don't know. I don't know what kind of condition you have, but it sounds like you got a little bit of that Trump derangement syndrome, and sadly, there's no cure for that. Hey, thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell you guys that Mike Lindell at MyPillow's got some great deals going on, and I was telling you guys this morning. I just announced this today. You know, I've expanded the show recently. I've added an hour to the morning show, and you've seen me here in the afternoons. And the expansion of the morning show, including I'm continuing the show during the commercial breaks on the radio, if you've noticed. So the extra hour in the morning, continuing the show during the radio commercial breaks, and the afternoon show, and my weekend shows are brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. And with my promo code Kane at checkout, not only are you going to get great deals on great products from MyPillow, you're going to let Mike Lindell know that his support of my content is money well spent. So I didn't announce it until today. I'd referenced it and hinted to it, but I've added a lot to my plate doing all this extra stuff, the extra shows, the extra time and everything, and I wanted to make sure that I could continue and maintain it. And it's been about a month, and I've been doing it. So it's official now. So go to MyPillow.com and load up with my promo code Kane and check it out. You can use my promo code on all the specials at MyPillow.com, but right now, Mike Lindell at MyPillow.com with my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, has the 3-in-1 sale. Get this, the MyPillow bed sheets, just $29.88. Any color, any size, even the King and California King and Split Kings and all those. Those are regularly $119.98, just $29.98. Any size, any color with my promo code Kane. The MyPillow towels, oh man, these towels are great. I have these. You can get a 6-piece set for just $39.98. And for the first time ever, the limited edition premium MyPillow made with Giza cotton. I have these pillows. Huge deal on those. The queen size, just $17.98. The king, just $19.98 with my promo code Kane at checkout. And of course, the free shipping offer is in effect as well. So go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout. All right, I'm going to take a couple more calls, and then I want to get back to the Candace Owens stories. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Free shipping offer.
You're on the air.
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando. I'm in South Florida. Welcome, Orlando, Florida.
Hey, what's up? How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can't complain. Just like the last caller was saying, all this stuff about tariffs, they're our allies. It's like you mentioned that they've been taking advantage so much of the United States. And people don't realize that India got rid of the United States.
Yeah.
China also had high tariffs on the United States. I remember Hillary Clinton and Democrats in 1992 fighting in Congress. China has a lot of tariffs on us, and we have 2%. Now, what happened with that? They were pro-tariffs, they were pro-border, They were deport the immigrants, the illegals. I'm sorry, not the immigrants. I'm Latino. So
Mm-hmm.
they were deport the illegals. They were all of this that Trump is preaching right now, and they're now, no. Trump is bad.
Yeah.
Trump is not a preacher. Trump is not a pastor. Trump is not my pastor. He's president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he was the best option. And I
That's
get
right.
there's TDS syndrome, around there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
people don't
you're
understand
calling from
our
Orlando,
country.
and I know Orlando, Florida, because
Yeah.
I'm a Floridian. I'm in South Florida, and most of the time, people like I'm going up to Orlando soon. I'm taking my daughter and a friend of hers to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando. We go to that every year, and I love it. But Orlando was a sanctuary city, and
Exactly.
and it has destroyed the downtown area of Orlando, Florida. I've seen what a sanctuary city is like. And it's very destructive to a city. And Donald Trump and our governor Ron DeSantis have reversed all that.
Agreed. When I moved here I'm Puerto Rican. I'm blessed that I can be part of the United States, and I respect the privilege I have as a Puerto Rican and follow the laws because God gave me a privilege being a citizen of the United States without have to apply to a green card or do all these other steps. And I admire the people that are going through the process, of course. But I've lived here already 9 years, and when I got here, it's horrible. The homelessness, the graffitis,
Orlando,
the streets
yeah.
were dirty and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was bad. But like you said, when DeSantis said, let's put hands on and all those stuff, everything's gotten better.
Yeah.
But the country's in a better pace. People expect that Trump will turn everything around in 100 days. That's actually impossible, especially 4 years of damage. It's not going to recover in a week or 2 weeks or a year even. But
Exactly.
it's just the mindset. I mean, people hate free speech now. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. They call him a racist. They call him all this stuff. And thank God there's videos proving that Charlie Kirk was pro-family, pro-black, pro-gay. He even defended gay people because we are nobody to judge other people because of their life decisions.
Yeah.
Everybody has sins. We all have sins. But we should love each other. I encourage the viewers to stop the hate and unite. Doesn't matter the difference of opinions, the difference of the decision makings that you decide in your life, you want to be gay or you want to be this. Let's all respect and love each other. And let's honor God first above everything.
Well, liberals.
That's just my point of view.
Well, it's a good.
I love your show, by the way.
It's good. Well, welcome to the show, and make sure you subscribe and call me again sometime. By the way, Puerto Rico was my favorite place in the Caribbean, and on our MAGA cruise in March, we're going to San Juan. It's our third time going to San Juan. I love Puerto Rico. It's the best place in the Caribbean. Oh yeah, it's awesome. All right.
Right now the crime rate over there is bad. I'm not gonna lie because unfortunately we have the Venezuelan people coming bringing drugs, all these cartels in Puerto Rico because it's like the center of the Caribbean ocean.
Yep.
But
Yeah, but it's not in the part where I go.
They're sending the military to Puerto Rico, so they're sending like literally the United States military is going there. Maybe that could help, organize the crime rate.
Maybe so. All right, take care. Sounds like you got some kids in the back to take care of. I'll talk to you again sometime. All right, let me take another couple calls and we'll get back to this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey, this is Joan in Tampa Bay. How you doing?
Hey, Joan. Oh, it's a Florida day. Orlando now to Tampa. Hold on, Joan. Let me answer these lines while you're talking in. What's on your mind, Joan, in Tampa?
Okay, two things. That gentleman before, Trump's tariffs have already taken in more than $130 billion to reduce our deficit.
Mm-hmm. And billions more every month.
Right. We've just been paying interest. We haven't knocked off any principal. We knocked off over $130 billion in principal.
It's amazing.
Okay? Now, if they decrease the interest rate, the amount of interest that we just keep paying on the debt, along with the tariff money coming in, I mean, we could really knock that stuff out. I mean, let's just think. I'm just a normal person, but I mean, just think. I mean, it doesn't take a a rocket scientist to figure that one out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And number two, we're doing the right thing because over the weekends, the last few weekends, you know, Europe was taking in all these migrants and crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the people of those countries, they're, even in the UK, they are marching and they are protesting to get those people out of their country.
That's right.
They want their borders too.
Yeah.
So Europe agrees with us and what we want to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
They do. All right, Joan in Tampa Bay. Take care. We'll talk again. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, got a bad connection. You can call back. The rest of you on hold, stand by. So I want to get back on track here. So Candace Owens, I started the program talking about this threat that Candace Owens, she's making this threat to take down Turning Point USA and expose someone who's making a move. And then yesterday, she just went on this bizarre rant. I'll play some of it for you. This is Candace. She's let me just read it. I don't think I need to play it, do I? I'll think about it. But this is from her podcast yesterday. Candace Owens claims threats were made to Charlie Kirk during an intense intervention with Bill Ackerman in the Hamptons weeks ago. Candace Owens claims Charlie Kirk was having a change of heart on Israel because he was a supporter of Israel before his death, and says he was contacted by Netanyahu. She says this: I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment, a ton of money. And the other people, including Bill here, that were in this supposed meeting, have all not only denied it, there's talks of lawsuits against her now. And what happened, this started, I think it started on September 10th when Charlie Kirk was killed. Immediately, anti-Semites started blaming Israel. Mossad. Very bizarre. And Candace Owens, I watched when she did this yesterday, and she's unhinged in her rants of anti-Semitism. But in this instance, I saw a little bit of a different tone from Candace. I thought she was knowingly lying, that she was coherent enough, but she was using, dead men tell no tales. And since Charlie Kirk is no longer with us, he can't refute what it is that she said happened. However, the other people in the room all have. And I think she was promoting this meeting thing that didn't happen, according to the people that were there. She never claimed to be there. She said she heard about it third person. To keep promoting her anti-Israel, anti-Semitic views on the air and using Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of bitterness going on because she's cut off from Turning Point. And she feels that Turning Point's success happened in the early days in large part because of her. And maybe it did. She was pretty famous and going viral all the time back in those days. She did certainly play a role, okay? Remember, she was going to the college campuses when she was with Turning Point and everything, and she had big turnouts, and she was like a movie star when she went to these campuses, and she did pretty good debating people there. But I think there's some bitterness from her where she feels she's owed a seat at the table at Turning Point, and she's not getting it. So she's really telling us she's prepared to destroy Turning Point and do as much damage to Turning Point USA as she possibly can. And she's putting herself, in her mind, on this moral high horse. But it really, to me, looks very personal, very petty, with a lot of jealousies going on. All right, your thoughts are certainly welcome on this. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Anne from Chicago. I think our line got cut just now.
No, you're on the air. I got you. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say, I'll say to you.
We've got a really bad connection, so I can't even hear a full word that you're saying. I'll give it another second, but if it doesn't clear up, I'm gonna have to move on. So keep trying. It looks like we lost her. Okay, you can call back later, and hopefully we'll have a better connection. Okay, so Kash Patel, who was he was praised a lot early today by the president. He said he's got confidence in him and everybody in the administration, was actually complimenting Kash Patel for bringing for the assassin being apprehended as fast as he was. It was a record apprehension time, the president said, and he has full confidence in everyone in the administration, which includes Kash Patel. And Kash Patel had this hearing today in the Senate, which is a regular thing people from the administration have to go through. And something big got dropped. Listen to this. This is some pretty big stuff. Now listen to this stuff. This is crazy. Okay, now, by the way, if you're watching on the live stream where you see the green behind me, if you go to my main stream where the main chat is, you can see and hear the audio and the video I'm playing, and the direct link to that feed's in the description of the video. Those are of you watching that see the green behind me. All right, so let me get back to this. This is Grassley with Kash Patel today. Listen, this next part's when he drops it. Arctic frost. Mm. Wow. So, and I'm going to go through some of them. So 92 Republican individuals and organizations were being monitored by this FBI operation. Wow. Mm. Pretty scary, isn't it? We sure are. Yeah. Can't wait for all this to come out. Okay, so this is really an amazing thing. You know, a lot of these things we've suspected this, but this Arctic frost, I've never heard that name before, and now we're going to get the records. You know, this is an important thing because they're calling us the fascist, right? Now they had this FBI program monitoring Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, and 92 Republican individuals and organizations. I can't wait to get that list, right? They shot our president, tried to shoot him again, put Peter Navarro in jail, put Steve Bannon in jail, broke into the president's house, arrested President Trump a whole bunch of times, arrested a bunch of people that worked around him. Paul Manafort, they put him in jail. Remember him? He was Trump's campaign manager the first time. I mean, the list goes on. Who are the fascists here? Us? They're the ones shooting people, killing people, imprisoning people because they have a viewpoint different than theirs, and we're the fascists? Those of you that aren't MAGA, you gotta really think about this. Put in context what the other side is actually doing, and this is another piece of proof that's getting out there. All right, if you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. It's toll free no matter where you're watching, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Chris. I heard that you said that Kansas is a little bit jealous of Charlie Kirk and the TP.
Sure.
Where she came from.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she would be so jealous.
Well, you know, if you were listening, I explained the whole thing, but I'll go over it again. Okay. Candace Owens became nationally famous when she was working at Turning Point with Charlie Kirk in the early days.
Right.
She was their, I can't remember what her title was, but she like ran their PR wing, their press office. She was like the Caroline Leavitt of Turning Point. And she started going viral because she was doing the college visits and doing the Q&As at the college. Okay? And then she left for whatever reason. I was surprised when she left, but she was getting so famous. She went out on her own and she became even more famous. And then she accepted this job with the Daily Wire, and things had never been the same since. And since she's left the Daily Wire and she went back out on her own, she's completely lost her mind. Okay? She attacks Israel regularly.
In what sense?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell
she completely lost her mind.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay.
She constantly attacks Israel. She is anti-Semitic. She.
In what way is she anti-Semitic?
She's denied the Holocaust on her program. She's denied the Holocaust. She said she didn't believe.
I don't think she's denied it.
Yeah, she did. She said what the Germans were very efficient. They wouldn't waste manpower like that and so many resources during a war on such a thing. Yeah, she did. Then she went on this long-term thing with the French president and his wife, which is a little strange. And because of all these things, regardless of what your opinion is about them, you agree with her. You don't like Israel either and such, so you don't see it. But because of that, she's not a part of the scene now. Everyone's talking about Turning Point USA, and she's not a part of it. And she's not being invited to be a part of it because she's toxic.
She definitely is not a part of it, but she was definitely employed by them. And
before she lost her mind.
They were like best friends.
Before she lost her mind.
They're best friends.
I don't know if they still were.
Before he died, she was talking to him about becoming a Catholic.
I know she says that. I don't know.
Is that crazy?
I don't know if that's true or not, but it doesn't change the fact that because of her anti-Semitism.
But you will admit that they were friends, right?
At some point. I don't know if they were at the end. I don't know. I know they used to be friends, sure, for sure. I don't know about recently. And she's caused, this anti-Semitism, Holocaust denial, anti-Israeli positions, and everything else. And of course, all the stuff with the president of France and his wife. She's not being invited to be on the stage with the president and everything. And if she had not lost her mind and gone down this rabbit hole of insanity and was her old self, she would be one of the front people for Turning Point USA, picking up the work of Charlie Kirk, in particular debating at the college campuses. And she's totally cut out of it because of her wackadoodle positions that we just talked about.
So you think that because she denies the Holocaust that she's anti-Semitic?
Oh, yeah. And, And people that, President Trump, people like me, people in the cabinet, once you go anti-Semitic and Holocaust denial, you're cut off. That's it. And they don't,
So you're saying, can you give me a specific date that
No.
she
A date?
actually
No.
denied the Holocaust?
No, I,
So
can't,
can
I don't
look-
have the
look
date.
it up?
I saw it. No, I don't have the date. But I heard her do it, and it was talked
Okay.
about at the time. I mean, she does a lot of shows like I do. I can't tell you the dates of my own show where I've done things. I do so many shows, so does she, but she said it.
Right. But I'm pretty sure that, you know, her leaving and going to, was it the Ben Shapiro show? What is it called?
The Daily
You
Wire.
said
The Daily Wire.
the Daily Wire. When she went to the Daily Wire, do you think that they fell out of friendship because she left Turning Point USA?
No. This is that
Then
she
why-
left.
then
She
why
left.
Why wouldn't they be friends if she left to go to another job? People do that all the time.
Decent people don't like to associate with anti-Semites.
What is an anti-Semite?
Do you watch her show?
Yes, I do. I watch your show too.
Do you hear? Okay, so you hear her position. She's been talking about that Israel may have killed Charlie Kirk. That's insanity. She had this whole story she concocted yesterday on her program.
I don't think she said literally Israel killed
She
Charlie
implied.
Kirk. I think she
implied that she got killed because
Well,
Charlie
is
was they were
literally
she was
the truth.
excuse me, she was saying that that Israel was trying to bribe and buy Charlie Kirk off with a lot of money to because he was going to switch his position on Israel in this Hamptons meeting.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
Because she made it up. The
If he-
other people
what-
in the room said she made it up. She
what
wasn't
if-
even
what if
there.
it
The
comes
people
out
that were
that-
there said it wasn't
What if it
true.
comes out that she wasn't lying?
She wasn't.
Would you deny that?
We know she was
If
lying.
it comes out that she wasn't lying about the information that I have told you, or the information
listen,
that she
this
has
is
told
how
you, would you
it's not
deny
going to
the
happen.
fact that he
It's
was?
what if. I'm not talking
sorry?
about what if. This is what we know. It was a meeting with like 3 or 4 people in the room. One of them's dead, Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated. Candace Owens was not there. She said she heard about it secondhand. The other people that were in the room said she completely made it up. One of them's talking about suing her for defamation.
Who are the people that you're saying that?
Oh my gosh!
Who
I mean,
are the
but yeah,
people
I'm
that said
not
that she
turning
lied?
it. I'm not turning in a term paper and have to cite my sources in the footnotes. But it's all on my X. I'll pull some of it up. It doesn't matter what sources I give you. You're never going to accept them.
Well, it actually does, because you could get sued for not giving the right information.
No, you can't sue for not giving
Just
out the
like
right
she's getting
information.
sued for
You know,
the
you
whole,
can't, and
French
anybody, and if
president,
you,
right? Isn't she
anybody
getting sued by
that
them?
uses that word with me is off the air. Okay, I'll pull some of it up. Okay, I'll pull some of it up. Okay, I've got the articles here, so I'll pull them. I wasn't going to get into all of this stuff, but I'm going to have to. Okay, here's the story that she told. And if you're on hold, hang in there. Okay? Okay, oh, by the way, all these stories, I have tweeted them. They're on my X, Brian Craig Show. Candace Owens claims Charlie Kirk had trouble with powerful people just before his death. Conservative political commentator Candace Owens has been publicly mourning Charlie Kirk since his assassination and demanding answers. In a 24-minute video uploaded to Facebook last weekend, she pays tribute to the late influencer while also revealing the final conversation she had with him leading up to his death and the secretive meeting he allegedly attended with powerful people. Candace Owens claims when Charlie went to an event at the Hamptons in early August, an intervention was held by Bill Ackerman, an American hedge fund manager and billionaire. She also said Charlie was invited to Israel by Benjamin Netanyahu on a phone call at the meeting. Okay? Bill Ackerman has denied all of this has happened. Okay? He was there, she wasn't, he's denied it. Okay? And the only other person is Charlie Kirk, and dead men tell no tales. There was one other man in there that worked for Charlie. He said this didn't happen either. So, no matter what I present to you, you're not going to accept it because you agree with her on on her hatred of Israel. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ann from Chicago.
Hey,
I
Ann.
hope my connection is better now.
It is. I can hear you
Can
now.
you hear me?
I certainly can.
Okay, thank you so much. I just want to say quickly before I get connected, Obama is having a rally in Pennsylvania, or he's giving some talk. Isn't this the same guy who said that if they bring a knife to the fight, we're bringing the gun? And it's this kind of rhetoric that has cost Charlie Kirk his life.
Yeah.
They are a party of...
Yeah.
Have people forgotten this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You need to highlight this. Let's dig this up and show them for who they are. I'm a legal immigrant from a predominantly Muslim country. I will tell you, Islam and the Democrat Party have so much in common. It's so eerie. They both celebrate death. They both like mutilating. FGM.
And as crazy as that sounds, we've been seeing Democrats literally celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as a woman who lived in that part of the world, in a Muslim country, I couldn't wear my cross and walk out. I would be stared at if I'm not killed.
Yeah.
And I came to this country thinking that for the first time I can talk about Jesus freely. And what happened? Well, at least Charlie Kirk lasted more than a decade over here. And to think that he was killed because he was preaching our Lord's message just breaks my heart. It's more profound for me. It impacts me so much. The Democrat Party is an evil party. Maybe the party of RFK. Kennedy was a good Democrat Party. This current party is a cancer to our country. It has to be voted out of existence. We can't have this. We are unequally yoked, as MTG said. We want life, they want death. We want happiness, they want misery. This is what they do to our children.
Yeah.
We can't have them. We can't have. I'm terrified because there are so many influencers like Hassan Piker and this Destiny guy calling for the murder of me. Conservatives like me, they want to see our guts fall. How come they're not prison? How come they're not put in prison? How come?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why you would watch Hassan Piker. I don't know why you would watch him. He is a terrible person. He's very ugly, and
yes, I know he should be behind bars for hate speech. He's calling for yours and my death.
Yeah.
How can these people be walking around freely? They have millions of people who listen to them.
Sadly, we have the First Amendment. Hey, listen, thanks for the call, and feel free to call me again sometime. Okay, so I pulled up another story. Now, this is the one I was looking for. This is for the caller before on the Candace Owens thing. This one in particular I pulled up because it's from a liberal news outlet. And a lot of times, when someone calls in and, asks, a liberal calls in and asks me for it, I like to pull it up from liberal sources when I can, so they can't discount the story because it's from, that's Fox News, or that's Newsmax, or that's Breitbart. This is from Mediaite. Mediaite is as liberal as it gets, okay? They've never met a conservative they didn't hate, okay? And this is a story that's at Mediaite right now, and I also did post this on my X at Brian Craig Show. If you're on hold, stand by. Here's the headline, liberal Mediaite. Charlie Kirk's producer debunks Candace Owens' anti-Israel conspiracy theory. That's the headline. Andrew Colvin, the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, debunked an anti-Israel conspiracy theory about the late conservative activist being promoted by Candace Owens. During a Monday monologue, this is yesterday, Candace Owens declared, quote, that my friend was shot in the neck, and I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to answers that I am demanding, adding that the billionaire activist Bill Ackman, a supporter of Israel, staged an intervention because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. So she was saying that Charlie was publicly supporting Israel, but behind the scenes he had these rational thoughts that agreed with her. This is another quote from Candace Owens, and this is in Mediaite. Bill Ackman was very, very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, Candace says. And I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative, claimed Candace Owens. Okay, she continued. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, this is Candace Owens' story, was called, and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I'd been in these situations before when I started asking very simple, sensible questions about Israel as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk. I was met with the very same pressure, and just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I got to tell you that. It felt like a threat. Like, not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered this is Candace Owens. This is what she said on her program yesterday. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Bibi Netanyahu would fund it, you know, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have to go to an even higher level than it already was at. And I for a fact that Charlie Kirk denied the funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there. He declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, you know, a re-education camp. You know, we've seen it. I'm reading from the transcript of Candace Owens. You made an but we can help you, you know. We just need you to come out here to Auschwitz and take a picture, yeah? We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. So here we have it. Candace Owens claims threats were made to Charlie during an intense intervention with Bill Ackman in the Hamptons. Let me pull this up. This is the person who knows. And he says, Ackman has denied the claims. He's called them totally false. And he was there. Before that, she quoted a tweet, a post about Tucker criticizing Netanyahu. They go into that. Ackerman, who was there, denied it. Charlie Kirk's producer has denied it. So the people that were there have all said it didn't happen. Now, one of two things is possible. Well, maybe three things. One, she made it up. Two, she hallucinated it. Three, someone told her something that wasn't true, and she went to air with it, okay? But it is not true. And a lot of people, like the last caller, a couple of callers ago, they want to believe it because it fuels and justifies their hatred of Israel, all right? Okay, let's go back to the phones. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Peter from New York.
Yes, Peter from New York. What's on your mind?
I am actually a touring musician, and I want to speak to Brian about the music point of this. That I feel.
This is Brian, and I don't know what the music point has to do with anything, but I give you a moment.
Okay, thanks.
You're on. Go. You're talking to me.
Hey, Brian. What I really feel is years ago, I saw when the gaming stuff started, I noticed that they were playing symphonic music behind these war scenes and people getting killed. And I even said to my friends at that time, this is not good. They're calming the spirit of these kids into a symphonic mood and killing people. And that, believe me, I was in Texas this weekend. I tour and stuff. And we had this conversation. A lot of people feel that these games, music behind them has had a lot to do with the influence of these kids. That's all.
I don't know. People are always trying to find things to influence and everything else. And I think it's pretty obvious. I think, I've been telling you guys since this happened last week, the same people that killed Kennedy, that killed Bobby Kennedy, that killed Martin Luther King, that shot Trump, killed Charlie Kirk, and they got a patsy. This assassin is he's like a Lee Harvey Oswald, James Earl Ray. He's a patsy that they got to do it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but they have turned these kids into a society of this killing kind of head is cool, it's okay, and they tie it to what they listen to, and music influences them, and they tie it
I don't
together.
know. I remember when I was young in middle school. I was probably in middle school. Who wrote the song "Man-Eater"? Who wrote that? I can't remember whose song is "Man-Eater."
Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates. Okay, Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates. Good. All right, great. Okay, listen to this. I was in like middle school, maybe high school. I'm watching the Phil Donahue show. Okay, remember Phil Donahue?
Yeah.
And they were talking about explicit.
Sure.
They were talking about explicit lyrics in music, and Phil Donahue read "Man-Eater." Watch out, boys! She'll chew you up. She's a man-eater. And they had this whole discussion for a whole segment about the inappropriate lyrics from Hall & Oates. I mean, come on, Hall & Oates. They're about all American as you can get. What about the Paul is Dead from the Beatles? I mean, I love music. You like music.
You know what?
Yeah.
All right, Brian, so just before we get off, listen to two songs that are so timeless. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, and For What It's Worth, Stephen Stills.
Okay.
And those are timeless songs because that's what's happening now. Our kids are being totally indoctrinated through music.
I think they're being indoctrinated through MSNBC, CNN, the Democrat Party, our colleges,
the visual as well,
and high school teachers. It sounds
I agree
like.
with
Yeah, that's where the indoctrination is coming from.
These gaming things are absolute evil.
Okay, all right. I remember people not liking me. I had one of my grandparents. I had a grandfather. He thought that video games were evil. And the only time, this is a true story, I just forgot about this till this guy brought mentioned the video games. The only time in my life I remember my grandfather raising his voice at me is when I put a quarter in a Pac-Man machine. I am not kidding. He was so mad. You put that money in that machine. Those machines are terrible. Well, it's, some of that's generational. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Sky. I'm calling from California.
Sky in California. What's on your mind?
So, look, man, your show pops up on my feed a lot, and you're saying a lot of things that I don't think are very democratic.
Well, that's good. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. So
I never said that. I said in the literal sense, sir. I believe that your party stands for anti-democratic values in the fact that you are anti-democracy. You are anti the Republic of the United States of America.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, a lot of fancy language there. You must have gone to college.
Yes.
Yeah, did you go to college?
I did go to college.
Oh, yeah. I know. That's where you learn this crap. Okay. This is what happens. I went to college as an adult. So my mind didn't get washed and polluted like yours. Okay, so
how old do you think I am, Brian?
I don't care how old you are. You got the mind of about a 16-year-old. I don't care what your actual numerical age is. Okay, so you believe.
So what you're doing right now is called an ad hominem attack, and that is a
it's called
indicator of faulty logic.
It is faulty logic. Another college boy word. No, what it is I've talked over the years that I've been doing this. Tens of thousands of liberal lunatics like you, and I'm just making fun of you a little bit, having a little fun. That's all. You're trying to intellectualize. Right? Okay, but it's also commentary because for something to be funny, there has to be truth to it. So so what you're telling me, because I'm very concerned about this as an American. You're telling me that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and those of us who support him, that we don't support democracy or the American Republic. Can you give me a specific example? Here we are in the second term here of President Trump, from the second term of Donald Trump, that shows that we're not supporting democracy, because I miss that. I don't want to be out there not supporting democracy. So how are we not doing that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
Well, let's hear a great answer.
What is your hat? I'm sorry?
Then let's hear a great answer. My hat, yes. Go on about my hat. Go ahead.
Yeah,
very nice hat.
So I'm responding to you by asking you what's going on with your hat.
Oh, this is a very nice hat. My Trump 2028 hat.
Yeah. So in what way does the Trump 2028 hat support your belief in the foundation of the U.S. democracy?
The foundation of the U.S. democracy. Oh my goodness!
How do you believe that
Listen to this
even
guy.
though it is objectively not allowed, that
Yeah.
Donald Trump is supposed to be able to run in 2028?
Okay. The term limits on the presidency, which limit the presidential terms to 2 terms, right? It's a constitutional amendment.
As defined in the 22nd Amendment.
The 22nd Amendment. That's right. When was the 22nd Amendment passed?
1951.
1951, correct. So before 1951, we did not have presidential term limits. It was a tradition begun by George Washington to do 2 terms and then retire until Franklin Roosevelt, who hated black people, decided he was going to be president forever. Okay, and we had the 4 terms, and then in 53, they passed the constitutional amendment. So what does that tell you? The Constitution...
Not 1953, 1951.
51, 53, who cares, okay, college boy? So, so what you're telling me is...
It matters.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're one of those guys that when you're over at somebody's house, you turn Jeopardy on just so you can show off that you know the answers and show how smart you are. It doesn't matter. 51, 53,
that's an
who cares?
interpretation,
Who cares?
but okay.
And no, it's an accurate analysis of your fragile ego. But that tells me this, that for the majority of the existence of the United States, we did not have presidential term limits. So perhaps democracy was interrupted and our republic was thrown on a side because all of a sudden the people lost their choice. They couldn't vote for a president the 3rd time. If we didn't have presidential term limits until 1951, that means for the majority of the time that this country has existed, we didn't have them. So maybe democracy was destroyed when the 22nd Amendment was passed.
20th.
20th,
Not
whatever.
The 22nd, the 20th.
Well, hey, listen, I can pull up Wikipedia and read and sound smart too.
This matters. This matters. Do you want me to
This
explain
matters.
to you why this matters?
You're not going to explain jack to me. The Constitution has been amended 27 times if you include the Bill of Rights, right? So I support...
You do include the Bill of Rights. Those are the first 10 amendments.
Yeah, I went to college too, okay? You're not the only one. Who's that guy in SpongeBob? I went to college. That's you, right? The Constitution's been amended 27 times. In fact, it's been amended so blacks could have the vote. It was amended so women could have the vote. Prohibition was a constitutional amendment, the Volstead. And what happened? They passed another amendment overturning prohibition. So what I'm advocating for...
Are you proposing that they overturn the 20th Amendment?
No, I'm not. The hat that I'm wearing, the Trump 2028 hat, I bought this hat from the official Trump store, and these hats are sold at the White House gift shop right now as we speak. What I'm proposing and what I'm supporting is a constitutional amendment ending presidential term limits so that everyone can run for president again and not have term limits.
So you're trying to pass that effectively...
Well, I'm not trying. I'm just advocating for it by wearing the hat.
Okay. So you're advocating for the overturning of the 20th Amendment.
No, I'm advocating for a constitutional amendment, like the amendment that gave women the vote, that gave blacks the vote. Okay? There's nothing undemocratic about amendments.
Can I be abundantly clear about what I am saying?
Oh yes, be abundantly clear, please. Yes. Do you have a smoking jacket on?
Okay. As the 19th Amendment overturns the 18th Amendment, which is prohibition, and then the overturning thereof.
Yeah, sure.
You are advocating that the 28th Amendment overturns the 20th Amendment. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure. Why not? What's wrong with that? That's how it works.
So, do you believe that you yourself are pro-Constitution?
Yeah. Part of the Constitution is that you're able to amend it.
Yes, I agree. That is objectively true.
Oh, my goodness.
What I am now going to ask you is, how do you feel about Donald Trump actively wanting to overturn articles of the Constitution unilaterally using his perceived executive authority?
Give me an example. What's he doing?
Well, literally day one of his his second term, he tried to overturn articles of the 14th Amendment with an executive order.
You know, there's sometimes I haven't said this in a while, but I've said from time to time on the show something that a lot of people don't understand. And there's a such thing as having too much education. And what you have You think you're a very smart man, but you're actually a very...
I know I'm a smart man.
No, you're not. You're a stupid man. You're a very stupid man. And what you have is a bunch of facts and dates and things in your head, but you don't have the ability... You know, part of going to college isn't just about memorizing a bunch of facts and dates. You know, like I have a degree in history.
Totally aware. My degree has nothing to do with memorizing.
No. Going to college is not so much about... Now, again, if you're going in for a specialty, like if you're going in to be a surgeon or something, this doesn't apply. But for most of us that go to college, like I have a degree in history and also education. Okay, so those are like liberal arts kind of degrees. What college really teaches you, more than facts and figures and knowledge and dates and snobby accents like you have, it teaches you how to think logically. It wires your brain into it.
It absolutely does.
Well, your college education failed you because you can't think logically. You can just spout out dates and facts. No, you're dumb. You just spout out facts and dates and numbers and amendments and things. And you don't have the ability to logically process.
That's the country that we live in.
No, it's the reality.
That's the country that we live in.
It doesn't surprise me that you're calling me from California because you're like what'd you say? What,
dude, really? You're gonna sit there?
Say that again. What did you just say to me? Excuse me.
I said, fuck off. What the hell?
What happened to those fancy college words? All right, then. Wait, what happened? You were using all these fancy college words, and then all of a sudden you just told me to F off? What happened to that? What happened to all that fancy? Oh, you blew your cover.
I blew my cover.
Well, is this how they taught you to defend your positions in college? Just to tell, I never told anyone to go F myself in a debate class.
What have you been saying to me this entire time? You've been attacking my personality.
Did I tell you to F off? Did I tell you to F off?
Yes, basically, and more.
Not basically. No, you didn't. Yeah, I didn't tell you that.
Okay.
You called me.
You know what? I will concede. Hold on. I will concede this position. That was out of line of me, and I apologize.
Well, thank you. On that note, thank you for your call. Oh my goodness. The snobbery. Let me take another call or two, then I'm going to end. But if you're new to the program, make sure you subscribe and follow me. And of course, don't forget all this extra programming that I've been giving you is brought to you by Mike Lindell at MyPillow. Use my promo code Kane at checkout for huge savings. Let Mike Lindell know that his support of all of my content is money well spent. So go to MyPillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You can use my promo code for all the specials at MyPillow.com. Right now, the MyPillow 3-in-1 special is going on. You can get the MyPillow bed sheets for just $29.88. Any size, any color, even king, California king, split king, and everything, just $29.88. The regular price on those, $119.98. So that's a huge savings. The 6-piece MyPillow towel sets are back in stock. You can get a 6-piece MyPillow towel set for just $39.98 with my promo code Kane at checkout. And for the first time ever, the limited edition premium MyPillow made with the Giza cotton covers. I have these pillows. Giza cotton is the finest cotton in the world. Huge discount. The queen size, just $17.98. And the kings, $19.98 with my promo code Kane at checkout, of course. And free shipping's in effect, too, on purchases of $100 or more. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Josh. I'm calling from Wisconsin.
Josh.
And I spoke to you a little bit yesterday. I just wanted to go at Mr. College Smarty Pants.
Yes.
Referring to the guy. Hold on, I got it written down here. What was he trying to say? Trump tried to overthrow the election.
What he was trying to say is he's smarter than the rest of us. That's what he was trying to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, here's the thing, Mr. Smarty Pants. People, I know the liberals don't believe this, but people are allowed to say things. They're allowed to have an opinion, give an opinion.
Well, liberals don't believe that. They just assassinated Charlie Kirk because they didn't like the things he was saying.
Exactly, and when it was time to pack up and leave because Trump, quote unquote, lost the election, no matter what your opinion is on it, what happened?
Huh?
What happened? He packed up and left.
Oh yeah, that's right. Came back to Mar-a-Lago. I saw him that day.
Yeah. So what is? I don't understand where they're trying to go with that. No matter what he says, no matter what his opinion was on it, he packed up and he left.
That's right.
And he didn't attack America for it like the liberals just did when they had to leave office, right?
That's right. You know, I saw him
So,
that day, and if you guys that have followed me for a while, I was very lucky. I was one of the last people to see Trump as president in his first term. I saw him the last 10 or 15 minutes of his term, and I got a picture of him and on video. It was exciting. And he came by me, and he was smiling ear to ear. And if you've ever met President Trump in person, he looks and sounds much different than on TV. His voice is deeper in person. I don't know why.
Does he?
And his head, his teeth, he's got huge teeth, like movie star teeth. And he was grinning ear to ear. Keep in mind, he was only going to be president for about 12 more minutes. And I called my wife and I said, look at this. I said, does he look like a man that's got a worry in the world? And that's when I knew he was going to come back for a second and non-consecutive term. And I never had a problem. But they say that, you're right, they say he doesn't support democracy. He left the White House once, he ran again, and he won. And that's how the process works.
And again, he did not attack America for it. He went at the Liberal Party for being a little sketchy throughout the election and everything that happened. He called that out, but he did not attack America.
Yeah, and you know, this thing about my Trump 2028 hat. You know, I've got one of the largest MAGA hat collections probably in the nation. I mean, I've got enough hats. I could open up a store, right? Because listeners send me hats all the time. The only hat that people call me about is the Trump 2028 hat. You know,
I'd like to ask you a question about that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do just want your opinion on it too, but I believe, when I was listening to Charlie before, I believe he did not support that, Tatum did not support that, and other big voices did not support that. They think that giving it to Vance is quote-unquote giving it to the youth because, I mean, for example, Vance just did the Charlie Kirk show for him, you know, Vance and Charlie were very close.
Yeah.
And Charlie also wanted Vance to run after Trump.
Well, I'll support J.D. Vance as our second MAGA president, but I'd like to see Trump run in 2028, 2032, 2036, 2040. I want Trump to run forever.
If that were to happen, aren't you a little worried that this dangerous liberal party right now that we have, this dictating liberal party would kind of, I know I'm not even going to say it, but aren't you a little worried that they would quote-unquote murder their way to a 30-year run?
No.
Kind of like Putin or something like that?
No, I'm not worried. Everything's under control. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, all right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. Turn the volume down on the device you're listening to me on. There's a delay.
Okay. This is Josh calling from California.
All right.
I had... Yes, I just listened to you a few minutes ago. You played about Candace Owens, the video. Why don't you go further and play Michael Savage, what Michael Savage had to say about Charlie Kirk's assassination, who actually killed Charlie Kirk.
Who did he say did it? Michael Savage. Tell me what he said. Michael Savage?
Yeah.
Just tell me.
The same video that you played about
I don't have any clips. I don't have any clips of Michael Savage. So tell me what he said.
The same video that you played about Candace Owens, it's in that same video.
Well, tell me what he said. Tell me what he said. What did he say?
He said he doesn't trust any of these FBI's and the presidents. Everybody's
He doesn't
lying.
trust President Trump? He said President Trump's lying?
Everybody's lying.
No. President Trump's not lying.
Let me tell you. I'm also from a Muslim country.
Yeah.
I'm an immigrant. Three times I voted for Trump, but we have lost faith. I'm out of Republic. I'm out of Democrat because they're all the same. They're all controlled by Israel.
Oh,
let's get the facts.
Really? Trump's controlled by the Jews? Trump's controlled by the Jews. Doesn't surprise. Hey, listen. I know what Muslim country are you from? What Muslim country are you from? Jordan. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Well, listen. You grew up in a country that hates Jews. It doesn't surprise me. You think President Trump is controlled by Israel?
I love Jews. I
can tell. Jews. But you love Jews, but they control President Trump. That does.
Yes. I don't believe the government. The people are good, but not the government.
So how do they control President Trump? How did the Jews control President Trump?
Everything. They control everything. Let me tell you, they control everything. You need, if you're
The Jews control everything.
Just play the entire
No,
video.
I'm not gonna. So, did you say the Jews control everything?
Yes.
Do you know? They control it. Do you know? Oh, okay, slow down. Slow down. Okay. Do you know what percentage of the population of the United States are Jews? What do you think? What percentage of the American?
I think about 6 or 7%.
Less, about 3 to 4. In Florida, it's higher because I'm in Florida. About 3 to 4%. So you mean to tell me about 3.5% of the population control everything and everyone in this country?
Not the Jews, the government of Israel.
That's the same thing. That's the Jews. It's a Jewish state.
Okay. No, they're not Jews. These people, the government.
The Israelis aren't Jews. The Israelis aren't Jews.
The people of Israel are Jews, but not the government.
Oh my God! What? How old were you when you left Jordan? How old were you when you left Jordan?
17.
Well, okay. Too bad you didn't escape sooner. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Yeah, no. Oh my goodness, the Jews control everything. You said that's everything, really. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Tim. I'm calling from California.
I'm hot in California today.
Yeah, there's a lot of people calling in.
Yeah, I know.
And I just wanted to talk real quick about what's going on with this Candace Owens things going on. You know, as soon as Charlie Kirk passed away, I knew that these people would come out. She tweeted immediately after, "Rest in peace," and then she tweeted, "We need to get down to the bottom of this." And what I realized she was going is she was going to start talking about Israel. And for me, that bothered me. You know, when she dropped the podcast yesterday, and she started to talk about Israel and all of her opinions about it. And I was waiting the whole time for a shred of evidence, and she gave nothing. And at the end of the podcast, what she begins to do is she begins to talk to her camera as if she's talking to somebody out there who places hit on Israel, and as if she's trying to get her audience to believe that she's sitting on some kind of secret intel. And you know what? I couldn't help but think to myself, if she really had some information, why doesn't she just release it?
And let me tell you another thing. If the Jews control everything and everyone and they're killing people, why are they letting her speak this way? Right?
Exactly.
Wouldn't they get involved and stop it if they had all this power and controlled everybody?
True. Why would they kill Charlie in broad daylight when the shooter can get traced back to them?
Yeah.
Right? Also, why is Nick Swinton still here? Why is Tucker Carlson? Why is Dave Smith? Why is Tim Dillon? Why are all these harshest critics still out there?
Yeah.
They go on and they have no proof that Israel did it. And so I'm trying to be open-minded and try to hear them out.
What are they? And the guy confessed. The assassin confessed. He turned himself in.
Exactly.
He confessed to his Discord group, and then his dad and him drove to the sheriff's office or whatever, right? I mean, come on.
Exactly. And I have one question for you. Who do you think is behind this? Because when they talk about Israel,
deep state.
It's almost as if
who's behind what? The assassination of Charlie Kirk?
No, who's behind Candace Owens? Like, is there somebody funding them? Because it's like they're. I
don't know. I think she had a very bad experience with Ben Shapiro, and she's channeled her anger, and he's obviously Jewish, and she's channeled her anger towards him towards Jews. Because I remember being very pro-Israel and everything, and then she, when it was announced that she had accepted a job with the Daily Wire, I did a show on my podcast here, and a lot of people gave me a hard time. I said this is going to destroy her, because and it has.
Exactly.
I want you to think about it. If she would not have gone loco, she'd be on stage with the president honoring Charlie Kirk at the memorial service in the stadium Sunday. And they're not going to let an anti-Semite Holocaust denier on the stage with the president. Now she has a lot of connections, so she might find her way into the private funeral. She might be able to get herself into the stadium, but if she had not gone this route, she would be a big deal at Turning Point right now. They'd be using her to take over the college debate circuit.
Exactly, and you know what? I watched the Charlie Kirk's channel today, and nothing in the comments, everything in the comments said, bring Candace on. They were ticked off that Ben Shapiro was there. But you know what?
I don't like Ben Shapiro. I can't listen. I'm a strong supporter of Israel, but I can't stand Ben Shapiro. I can't stand the guy.
Me either.
I
From what I honestly think they're doing, I think they're trying to usurp his audience. They're trying to strike while the iron's hot because they see that these people looked up to Charlie Kirk and they want to get a lot of his audience because he did have a lot of influence. But I think it's so disingenuous because she knew exactly where Charlie Kirk stood. You know, Charlie Kirk, if you understand what he believed, he always had a biblical worldview.
Well,
he came from
evangelical. If you go to any evangelical church, pretty much all of them have an Israeli flag next to the American flag.
Exactly.
And it's like, but here's the thing, and this is what they're doing to back up this lie. A lot of us, including President Trump, and I didn't listen to Charlie Kirk every day, so I didn't really hear him talk about Israel, but I've heard the president, and they're like-minded. A lot of us believe that Israel has taken this war on too long. They got to wrap it up. They've lost world opinion and public support after the attack at the music festival. It's turning into their Vietnam. They got to wrap it up, and they got to cool it off a little bit. But that doesn't mean we're not supporting Israel. That's a big difference. We're talking about a military move. Yeah. But when a guy's
talk about discredit.
Go ahead.
You know, and talking about discrediting, right? If these people really want to not discredit their cause, then to blame everything on Israel is the biggest way to do it. It's really stupid because I'm looking for evidence. Now they might have some valid points, right? I agree the war's been dragged on too long. It's sad, all that stuff.
For example, that we know that the deep state killed both Kennedys and Martin Luther King. But there were other people involved. You know, Lee Harvey Oswald's wife was the daughter of a Soviet Union general. Think about that. A lot of people don't know that. You know, I believe the deep state and J. Edgar Hoover were behind Martin Luther King. J. Edgar Hoover hated Martin Luther King. And Bobby Kennedy talks a lot about the assassination of his dad and his uncle. And you guys, Megyn Kelly did a very good interview. You guys look it up, and he'll tell the story. I'm not going to go. You know, his dad, Bobby Kennedy, was not shot by Sirhan Sirhan. He was shot from behind, in the back, by his own bodyguard, who was a CIA guy. Bobby Kennedy talks about this to Megyn Kelly. You know, so when I tell you the same people killed them that killed Charlie, that shot Trump, it's the same deep state family of people. That's it. I mean, that's it.
Gotta be.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to run, but thanks for the call. All right, call me again sometime. All right, I'll take a couple more calls. The phones are ringing off the hook. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Michael Hill from Patoka, Indiana.
All right, go ahead, Indiana. What's on your mind?
Honestly, I don't know.
You don't know?
Then
why'd you call me?
I'm a first-time listener.
Welcome.
And, thank you. I was wondering exactly how is it that this may be a little religious, and I do apologize. But I wonder exactly how the left and the Democrats are reacting to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, when they are the ones who are normally the ones who are outspoken against gun violence. Like, doesn't it seem a bit hypocritical?
The Democrats don't care about gun violence or gun control. They just use it as a political thing. They think it's a good thing to get votes, even though it costs them elections. They don't care. Democrats don't care about much of anything. They just grab on to things to try to get support. Like, look, we got this idiot running for mayor of New York, Zohan Mamdani, right? This guy's incompetent. He's like 30 years old. He's never had a job. He's got all kinds of problems. He's a socialist, right? You know, all this stuff. And Governor Hochul just endorsed him, the governor of New York, yesterday, and all these Democrats. They're just they figure he's got some Instagram followers that'll help us win an election down the road. Democrats, you know, Rush Limbaugh used to talk about this. The only thing Democrats care about is power, right? Gangster's paradise, all about the money, all about the power. To get the money, you got to be in power. They don't stand for anything. They just take positions to win elections and to get into power.
I agree with that, because after all, they were the ones who supported the KKK and supported slavery, correct?
Yes. Since you're new, you know, to the program, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. You know, everything the Democrats say America should apologize for, they did, right? Slavery, the Democrats owned the slaves. right? We were the abolitionist party and freed the slaves. And what did they do? They killed Lincoln for freeing the slaves, the Democrats. The internment of Americans of Japanese descent in the Second World War, that was Democrats, right? You know, the KKK was the original Democrat Party community activist organization. I mean, the list goes on. You know, they're terrible people.
I agree. Would you say, I know reparations aren't the thing that we should be doing because none of the people in that generation have experienced slavery, this, that, and the other. But would you agree if we were to pay reparations, it should only be the Democratic Party that
I don't know about that.
pays? And
I don't know about that. I mean, if you can find me some slave, you know, if we pay reparations for slavery, are the African nations going to have to pay the reparations for selling them into slavery?
That is a good.
You know, pretty much. And what about those of us that are white, that are descendants of indentured servants, who gave up 7 years into indentured servitude slavery to pay for their passage to the New World? I mean, do I get reparations if I got a indentured servant in my past? I don't know that I do, but if I did, come on.
See, I can't say much on that because part of my family comes from Native American descent, and the other part of it comes from Germany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure. I don't know where, you know, my mom's a I don't know my background. My ancestors are some white people that came from Europe at some point. I don't know. You know, I don't care. Who cares? You know, all that stuff's a long time ago. Doesn't matter. You know, the reason these things get talked about, reparations, all this stuff, what the Democrats do, if you really look at the Democrat Party, what they do is they divide groups and people. Because when we're united, look what's going on with after they killed Charlie Kirk, and look, millions of people are uniting in the memory of Charlie Kirk, you know, and exactly. The Democrats hate it when the country is united, because when the country is united, it seems to be more conservative.
They don't have power.
That's correct. So they put blacks against whites, gay against Christian. They have all these divisions that they come up with, you know, to keep people at each other's throats and not getting along. They're a divisive people.
I agree. Well, I'm sorry that my call is so long, and I'm sorry that.
That's okay. No, you're a much better caller than some of these dopes that I've been talking to today. I appreciate that. I'm glad you found the show. Make sure you subscribe. Call me again sometime. All right.
It's no problem.
All right.
I have to go and cook supper. I hope you have a nice night, and God bless you.
I will. Take care. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Shawna from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean. What's up?
Hey, I want to say one thing. I swear, I'm not wearing a smoking jacket. I'm just going to tell you now, I'm not wearing one. And I think that I love that call that you had on. That was pretty funny. The intellectual, that just killed me. I was sitting there laughing the whole time. Oh, the stuff you got to hear. And you know, one thing about, you know, when you learn something, it's about philosophizing with it too. It's not just facts.
Yeah.
It's not just figures. And you could tell this guy, who, you know, people like that, you know, they're just not in tune to what's really happening here. So you conservatives have a philosophizing nature in their facts, in their intake of information. And we understand what the just cause is.
Yeah.
It's a righteous cause. And that's the mission. And
absolutely.
That's the mission of Donald Trump.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I got something I got to play. So I'll give you the last word.
Oh, I was just going to say that, you know what, the country's getting more united than ever, and you know what, the force multiplier is in play here.
That's
and
right.
Things are going to be great. It's going to be great.
Okay, now when I hang up on you, go and turn up your whatever device you're listening to me on. Turn it up. You're not going to want to miss this.
Awesome.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Now, I tell you, so, you know, every time, I've been doing this for a long time. Democrats, they never cease to amaze me, okay? I'm not going to set this up. I'm just going to play it, but I'm just going to tell you where it is. This is a reporter from ABC News, the network. You know, Peter Jennings used to be ABC News. They're talking about the confession of the Charlie Kirk assassin. Listen. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to rewind this and I'm going to play all of it uninterrupted, but I'm just going to stop here and I'm going to rewind it. I'll play the whole thing and I won't talk until after. This guy is telling a Romeo and Juliet love story about the assassin and his boyfriend, a touching romance told through the etchings on the bullets that he assassinated Charlie Kirk with. Now, if you're watching me on the live stream with the green behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can see and hear the video that I play. There's a direct link in the description. I'm going to play the whole thing uninterrupted. I can't believe this guy should be taken off the air immediately. Listen. Oh my goodness. That'll probably be one of my lead stories on the morning show tomorrow. That's what the heck? What let me go back to the, what do you guys think about that? 888-465-2631, toll free no matter where you're watching. I've never heard such a romantic love story told before. Oh my goodness. I'd like to get his take on OJ and Nicole next. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
James, Missouri.
Hey, Missouri. What's on your mind?
I'll make this, I just want to make this quick and short. First, I appreciate your show. You put a lot of truth out there. I'd like to switch gears. I'll just make a quick comment, and you can leave it alone if you want. I was watching some news footage and some things like that, but Pam Bondi was talking about targeting hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that would probably be a very slippery slope, because that is something that Europe has put in place. And so who defines hate speech?
Yeah.
And I will leave it at that.
No.
And,
I want to talk. I want to talk to you about it just for a second. I did talk about this
please.
in detail at the beginning of the program, but I'll give you the short version of it. You know,
Yes, sir.
Charlie Kirk was one of the president's best friends, and
Yes,
he was
sir,
a
he was.
close personal friend of every member of the cabinet, including Pam Bondi. So
Yes, sir.
one of her close, and so they're close friends. Everybody in the cabinet, not just Pam. Everybody, they're close friends with Charlie Kirk, his wife, his kids. They hang out, they socialize, and they've been doing this for years. She's one of her closest friends was shot dead, and everybody in the world saw it. And if you haven't seen it, don't watch it. It was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of bad stuff. And she said something because one of her best friends was brutally assassinated and murdered. So she said something, and she took it back. Give her a break. You know, I mean, you know, how would you feel if one of your close personal friends, you're hanging out at the kid's birthday party, and then all of a sudden they're shot in the neck by some Democrat assassin? You might say some things too. I think people are giving her too hard of a time about it.
Yeah, I wasn't for sure. I knew you probably knew more information, but personally, as a veteran, if someone did that to one of my close friends, I mean, I can't say what I'd like to do on
Exactly.
air. But,
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
But I would like to say one last thing. I know you got 1,000 other things going on, probably hundreds of callers. This country has never been more politically divided. Now, this is just my take. I may be completely wrong. Then, well, we're looking at possibly, you know, small conflicts, and I may be being.
No, I think you spend too much time fantasizing. The country is very united now. I mean, there's been times in the past when we were divided. You know, when the Democrat
Yes, sir.
insurrection against the federal government, which is known as the Civil War.
Yes, sir.
Things were pretty divided then.
Yes, sir.
The country's united, very united. The Democrats are a tiny little minority. President Trump won all the battleground states. He flipped like 10 counties in California red. The country is very united behind Trump and the conservative MAGA party. I mean, it's, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. The Democrats, the left are
appreciate that.
overrepresented in media and things. You know, like they had their Emmys the other night and they're applauding Colbert like he's some kind of hero. You know, the left are overrepresented in media, but they're a small
Yes, sir.
minority. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, take it. I just play this one more time if you missed it. This is ABC News talking about the assassin of Charlie Kirk. What a psychotic person. They gave this person's on national network television. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. My name's Frank. I'm from Connecticut.
Frank in Connecticut. What's on your mind?
So I agree with you. I think the country is more united than ever, and I think the behavior of the Democratic Party in the last few days is fully responsible for that.
Yeah.
The way they between the mocking and the justifications, it's hurt them more than they even realize.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
You know,
the Democrats, the Democrats, through all their this god awful thing they did with Charlie Kirk, they brought the country together, which was the opposite of what they were intending to do.
Correct. And one of the silliest things I've ever seen and still continue to see is that they try and say that this person that did assassinate Charlie Kirk was a Republican. Oh, he's a conservative. He's in your party. It's one of your own.
Yeah.
And it's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. I'm like, I can't. And they said the same thing when that other goof tried to take out Trump.
Yeah, the guy that shot. They say he's MAGA too. Yeah, the guy that shot Trump in Butler's MAGA. The golf course guy's MAGA. All these assassins that are killing the MAGA leaders and shooting MAGA leaders, they're Republicans. Give me a break. That there's an old saying that doesn't. This is a simple saying, but that doesn't even pass the smile test, right? I mean, that's just dumb.
Yeah, somebody said that to me. I said, do you watch sports? They said, yeah. They said, I'm a football fan. I said, okay. I said, who do you like? They said, I like the Patriots. I said, okay. I said, so if you're a Patriots fan, you love the Patriots. That's like you going to the bar and seeing Tom Brady and breaking his legs.
Exactly.
I'm like,
exactly.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Yeah.
And he just looked like, oh yeah, I guess. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but to these liberals, it makes perfect sense.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
It
But
is crazy.
I do agree. I think the country is more unified than it's ever been. And I don't see the Democrats winning an election for the foreseeable future. Thanks
No,
to
in
their
fact, we may
behavior
be.
in the last
I don't know when the last time the party in power won the midterms in the second term, but I could see that easily happening this time. Appreciate the call. All right. Yep. All right. I was going to say, I'll take another couple calls. Some of these people have been holding for a while. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Adam from New York.
Hey, Adam. What's up?
Not much, Brian. Hey, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, but I kind of wish you would lay off on Candace Owens. I mean, she just lost her good friend. They were, they both came up together, so, I mean, I'm nobody, but I know, they were both close,
Yeah, they were. And I was surprised when she quit. I thought back then that they were a couple. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember when they were. There was Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, I remember one of the first times I saw him on television, he was on Fox. He and Candace Owens were having breakfast at some restaurant in Washington, and some liberals were giving them a hard time. And then he went on TV and with her, and they were talking about it. And I thought they were a couple at the time. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I don't know.
I know she changed when she was starting hanging out with Kanye West, and but
Kanye's crazy like her.
I really believe she does have a good heart.
I wouldn't say I actually met her where I talked to her, but I was in her presence once before her fall. I was at, it wasn't a Trump rally, it was a, I forget what the thing was called. It was a national tour of Christian speakers, and I went because the president was there, Don Jr. was there. It was during the first term, and Candace Owens was there. And Candace Owens, I heard Tucker was talking about this. He was interviewing, Michael Knowles. He had Michael Knowles on his show last week, Tucker. And they were talking, and what they described Candace was so true. She's like a movie star in person. There's something, if you've ever been around a movie star, I don't know, they got charisma. They're very electric. She's like that. And I saw a line about 2 miles long of people wanting to take a photograph with her. I'd never seen something, and there were some big shots there. Don Jr. and Sarah Huckabee, when she was the White House press spokesperson, everyone wanted to be with Candace. So I didn't get to meet her because there were so many people trying to be she was pregnant and hiding her. She was trying to hide her pregnancy. She was wearing a heavy coat in Florida. And I was thinking she was pregnant, but she's lost her mind. She's crazy now.
But she and Charlie Kirk, they both came up together back like in what year? Probably 2009, 10. They were under like the grassroots Republicans.
Yeah,
they called it. And both of them were good and stuff, and so.
Yeah.
But So.
All right. Well, hey, listen. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. You make some good points.
Thanks.
Take care. All right. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Cameron calling from Indiana.
Indiana. What's on your mind?
Well, I guess what'll be on my mind is, of course, Charlie Kirk's death. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that's I never get to see political violence happening, but I don't know. I just saw a video of Nick Fuentes talking about how, terrible things about Charlie Kirk, and
I don't know. When people talk about Nick Fuentes, I know who he is, of course. I don't listen to him. I really have zero interest in what he says. And do you know who his biggest fans are?
Why is that?
Do you know who his biggest fans are?
Who is their biggest fans?
Liberals. Because he says liberals. He's always being talked about and promoted by the left. Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Well, the liberals are always talking about what Nick Fuentes said and who he said it to and what's he thinking and this and that. Yeah. They're always talking. You don't hear me talking about him.
The fact that you think that liberals are fans of Nick Fuentes is
Yeah.
either dishonest on your end or idiotic.
I've seen this many times over the years. What Democrats like are Republicans.
Can you name one Democratic politician that has actively platformed Nick Fuentes?
You don't. Just listen to what I'm going to tell you. You'll learn something. All right.
So is that a yes? I mean, like I will.
No, you got. If you stop talking, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to learn something. Okay.
Go ahead. Sir.
What I've learned about Democrats are into propaganda and messaging, and over the years, what they like to do is find Republicans that are bigots or racist or homophobes, I give you a couple examples. David Duke ran for the state house in Louisiana, like in the late 80s, early 90s. And for years, who cares who's running for state house anywhere? Anybody can register, but the media hyped him up. So because they wanted to brand the Republican Party as the party.
Regardless.
Then there was excuse me, I'm speaking. I am still speaking. Then there was another guy in the 90s. His name was Reverend Fred Phelps, Reverend Fred Phelps was a nutcase. He had this church, a small church, mostly made up of family members, and he was a homophobe, and he was a publicity whore. And Fred Phelps, he had a church with about 20 people in it, and he would go to funerals of people who died of AIDS and say terrible things. And the media used to have this guy with a church of 20 members on the national news all the time. And there's others from time to time. And the latest is Nick Fuentes, okay? The liberal media like to take Republicans that are bigots or homophobes or perceived as a racist or something and elevate them as if they're relevant and as the face of the conservative movement. And it's all BS. Nobody gives, I'm going to say this in a crew, no one in the MAGA movement gives a shit what Nick Fuentes says. He's a kid. Who cares?
Agree with that.
Well, I'm sure. Listen, I'm going to run, but thanks for the call. If you're new to the program, make sure you subscribe. If you're on hold, well, I'll be here tomorrow morning taking your live call. So if you didn't make it on, call me tomorrow. All right. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks.